And we begin with the sudden, violent death of Billy Chemirmir. This morning, prison guards found the convicted killer dead in his cell. Now, Chemirmir was charged with killing 22 elderly women and stealing their jewelry, but he was only found guilty of murdering 2 of these victims. The other cases had yet to go to trial in Dallas and Collin County. We've also learned that the prison that Chemirmir was in had already been under a system-wide lockdown specifically to prevent inmate crimes, like homicides.
And Chris, this evening, we're waiting for his cause of death from state prison officials. Senior crime and justice reporter Rebecca Lopez broke this story when he was initially arrested. She joins us now from the newsroom. Rebecca, while there's still a lot of mystery surrounding his death, we can't forget about the victims.
Cynthia, there were a lot of emotions, but the feeling overall from the families today is they felt that some justice was done today. Chemirmir was a violent man who suffocated his elderly victims, and many of the families wanted him to get the death penalty, but he got life because prosecutors did not seek the death penalty in his cases. District Attorney John Creuzot told us today, though, that Chemirmir died a very violent death.
If the rest of your life in prison seems daunting, an eternity in hell will be far worse.
The children of Billy Chemirmir's victims say they got a form of justice today.
It's shocking, but there is a relief that this part of my nightmare, our nightmare, is over.
State prison officials say Chemirmir was killed by his cellmate.
This was jailhouse justice.
District Attorney John Creuzot got the news this morning.
To be quite honest with you, it doesn't surprise me that he was killed. I always thought that that was a possibility with somebody with his background.
Creuzot says prison officials told him Chemirmir made an inappropriate comment to his cellmate.
Something of a sexual nature, and it was directed towards the inmates' children.
The DA says Chemirmir was beaten and possibly stabbed with a pin in the Cofield unit. The unit was on lockdown because of a recent rash of murders and drug smuggling in TDCJ prisons.
Even though they're on lockdown, apparently he somehow opened the door and dragged him into the hallway, and nobody intervened or nobody called for help. And basically he was there for about 15 or 20 minutes before anybody of authority could figure out that what had happened.
Chemirmir is considered by law enforcement to be one of the most prolific serial killers in Texas history, stalking, smothering, and then robbing his elderly victims. He was indicted in the deaths of 22, but suspected in dozens more. He was convicted of murder last year in 2 of those cases.
Found you guilty of the offense of capital murder.
My mother died in fear. This man did not have a peaceful passing. There is some relief in feeling that he didn't get off easily.
Chemirmir's attorney said his convictions were being appealed and told us, despite how you feel about him, no one deserves to be murdered in prison. Victims' families say their loved ones didn't deserve to die the way they did, never standing a chance to defend themselves.
But the fact that this did occur, I'm
in Dallas,
very much at peace with that.
I'm Rebecca Lopez.